My ancestors feared the Cauldron Born, the zombies brought from the grave by the touch of fire. Chu E. Sean Muldoon, Draconis Combine. There are few mythical objects that show up in Celtic and Welsh mythology more often than the cauldron. They're symbols of life, hearth, and home, and even rebirth and renewal in a manner akin to the Holy Grail in Christian mythology. In one story, the enchantress Cyrudwyn cooks up a potion in her magical cauldron to give to her son Morfran. When a few drops from that potion land on the finger of a man charged with guarding it, he is blessed with great wisdom. Later, Bran, the mighty warrior god, obtains a magical cauldron from Cyrudwyn, which promises the power to revive fallen warriors placed within its metal embrace. Sometimes a battle mech's name just seems to fit. In the case of the Ebon Jaguar, it's not the given name, but one attributed to it by those who had to face it in battle. Even among the clans, the name Cauldron Born was adopted to describe this flexible 65-ton mech design. First off the assembly lines in 3049, the Ebon Jaguar was envisioned by its Clan Smoke Jaguar designers as an answer to the persistent flaws and shortcomings of the Hellbringer. While the Hellbringer was able to wield an incredible arsenal of weapons in its various standard configurations, it was also tall for its weight class and very under-armored. While that served the Jade Falcons well in their tactical doctrines, the other more conservative clans were looking for a more balanced platform. Though the Ebon Jaguar wouldn't take a prominent role in the early clan invasion, it left an indelible mark on the Draconis Combine when the sleek and low-profile design was brought to the Battle of Luthien. Deployed primarily among the 1st Jaguar Guard cluster, the Ebon Jaguar was labeled the Cauldron Born by the DCMS soldiers who were shocked by its ability to absorb damage and keep fighting. It seemed fitting to draw the connection to the unstoppable zombie warriors of that Celtic and Welsh mythology. Battle reports were so positive that Clan Smoke Jaguar ramped up production and it largely replaced the Hellbringer in their Tumen. The Huntress manufacturing plant DL6 was put to work producing the Cauldron Born not just for Clan Smoke Jaguar, but for many of the other clans as well, as word spread of its effectiveness. Only the Jade Falcons, Coyotes, and Clan Wolf clung tightly to the Hellbringer as their primary 65-ton heavy. That's not to say the Cauldron Born cannot be found among their ranks, but it's few and far between, and usually the mech is picked up as a sorla or otherwise spoils of battle. By 3052, in the Battle of Tukiad, the A, B, and C variants of the Cauldron Born were spotted among the Clan Smoke Jaguar forces. It was the first time that Comstar was able to get its hands on a good number of salvaged Cauldron Borns for study. What they discovered was a versatile platform that could be equipped to fill a variety of roles very successfully. What more could you want, really? Following Operations Bulldog and Serpent, production of the Cauldron Born on Huntress was interrupted for the considerable amount of time following the obliteration of Clan Smoke Jaguar. Manufacturing plant DL6 received significant damage, but eventually, as the clan started to reclaim more and more of the planet from the SLDF forces in various trials, the production line ended up back in the clan hands. Clan Star Adder rebuilt the facility and started production of Cauldron Borns and Mad Dogs. Constructed around a CSJ Type 65.43 Endo steel frame and a consolidated Fusion 325 XL engine, the Cauldron Born was designed from the ground up to maximize the utility of every ton of equipment and armor placed on it. The 13 double heat sinks provide enough cooling for many of its mixed type loadouts, of which there are many. The Cauldron Born doesn't come equipped with jump jets, but it can move at up to a speedy 86 km per hour. This mobility was a distinct advantage over almost all Inner Sphere heavies during the clan invasion. If you're going to go up against a Cauldron Born, you're going to have to work through 9.5 tons of composite AE4 ferrofibrous armor. Anyone expecting a glass cannon like the Hellbringer is going to be sadly mistaken. As far as armament goes, this Omni-Mech has 30 tons of pod space, which is a really good percentage in comparison to total weight. The Summoner, for example, only has 22.5 tons of pod space, and it weighs only 5 tons more. The Timberwolf's 27.5 tons is closer to the Cauldron Born, but it is 10 tons heavier. Of course, both the Summoner and Timberwolf have other gear and more armor, but this is a good way of demonstrating that the Cauldron Born hasn't entirely abandoned the mission statement of the Hellbringer, which was bringing a substantial amount of firepower onto the battlefield to hammer the enemy quickly. As far as popular weapons configurations go, there are plenty to choose from. In the interest of time and not putting you into a coma, I'm not going to hit them all. I'm going to stick to the ones most frequently seen during the first years of the mech's existence, and a couple of interesting options later on as the time periods progress. One of them will be my personal favorite, but I'll leave it up to you to speculate which one that is. The primary configuration of the Ebon Jaguar was the first to see deployment. It's a bit of an odd duck so far as it has a bunch of weapons that normally aren't grouped together into a single mech. It reminds me of some of the 3025 Inner Sphere mechs that have a bit of everything, which adds up to a whole lot of meh. The Cauldron Born is extremely lucky that it's an Omni mech, and there are other options because the primary configuration would be a nightmare for an actual Mechwarrior to try to use in the universe. Let's just move on. The far more popular A configuration is built around a pair of ER large lasers, one in each arm, and an Ultra AC-20 in the right torso. 2 ER medium lasers facing rearward, and a medium pulse laser add a little bit to a more mid-range punch, and 2 machine guns and a flamer cover any infantry or light vehicles that might need to be liquidated. The 3 tons of AC-20 ammo in the left torso are enough to keep the UAC-20 running, though at a somewhat conservative pace. The possibility of doing routinely more than 50 damage in a single turn if most of the major weapon systems hit in the front arc has to be tempting. Heat management is important, but go ahead, you can add it to your Christmas list. I won't judge you. The B configuration is the energy boat option, with an ER PPC and a large pulse laser in each arm. Those 13 double heat sinks are going to get quite a workout. In addition, there are also 2 medium pulse lasers, a tag, and an active probe. Having used the B configuration quite often, I found myself foregoing the use of the ER PPCs just to keep the machine cool enough to function. Even just firing both of the ER PPCs in themselves and nothing else in a single turn is going to put you into the red. A savvy Mechwarrior with access to a knowledgeable tech might forego those 2 medium pulse lasers in favor of a stack of additional heatsinks. The C configuration is more of a fire support design with a pair of LRM-15s, 2 Ultra AC-2s, and a pair of SRM-6s. This can be quite effective for crit chasing and finishing off those opponents from a distance. The D configuration, always popular, carries twin Ultra AC-10s, 2 ER medium lasers, and an ER large laser. It's a potent mid-range brawler that can cause some significant damage if those UACs consistently hit. It's a pretty well-balanced design that isn't too hard on the heatsinks. Just watch the ammo use on those UAC-10s as the 20 shots per autocannon can go quickly. Now that we've covered the base configurations, I want to touch on one of the newer loadout options which tend to feature weapons developed in the late 3050s and beyond. The H configuration of the Cauldron Born features the UAC-20 in the right torso, but is backed up with a heavy large laser, 2 heavy medium lasers, and a medium pulse laser. The addition of a targeting computer is going to help offset the 2-hit penalty of the heavy lasers, and the addition of 3 more double heat sinks to the torsos help with the heat issues that would have otherwise left the mech pretty unable to consistently fire. The H configuration is a powerful brawler that can do far more damage than one might expect from a 65-tonner. Foes beware. At the dawn of the Ill Clan era, the Cauldron Born has been seen more in the Inner Sphere thanks to Clan Seafox, which has been producing it from manufacturing plant SFF-CO1. There was an attempt to sell the mech to Clan Wolf, but Khan Alaric turned the offer down. Like we needed one more reason not to like Alaric Ward, right? Instead, Seafox decided it would sell the Cauldron Borns to the Capellan Confederation of all groups. That's how we end up with McCarran's armored cavalry fielding Clan Tech Cauldron Borns on Liberty against the Republic of the Sphere. They shifted the balance in the Republic assault on Dronane and led to a full Republic withdrawal. Now that's going to look good on the Seafox advertising. With a new producer, new factory, and new customers, the common loadouts also needed an update. Here are a few of the notable options. The T configuration is interesting because it uses a mixture of Inner Sphere and Clan technology. In the right arm, the T carries an ER PPC, in the left arm, an Ultra AC-5. In the torsos, the mech has 2 Thunderbolt 5 launchers, an improved heavy medium laser, and a Streak LRM-10. The addition of a Case 2 in the left and right torsos is going to keep the pilot safe from all that ammo should things go sideways. It's an eclectic loadout, which reminds me of the primary configuration of the original production run. It's a little bit of everything, and some people enjoy that. For those who aren't keen on the new technology, the Thunderbolt 5 launcher is inner sphere tech, which fires a single missile that does the damage of 5 LRMs, so no cluster hits table for this weapon. The E configuration features 2 newer weapon systems. The Hyper Assault Gauss Rifle 20 can cause significant damage depending upon how the dice gods treat you with the cluster hits table. In the mech's right arm, there's a standard large pulse laser, while the left torso carries an ER medium laser. The second piece of newer tech is the ATM-12 launcher, which can fire standard ammo, which behaves like SRMs, but with slightly better range, extended range ammo, which is similar to LRMs, and a high explosive ammo, which does 3 damage per missile, but at a significantly reduced range. This combination of weapons makes the Cauldron Born E a nasty skirmisher that can keep its distance, yet get close for a kill if necessary. The next configuration I want to highlight is known as the X configuration, and not just so that I could say X config in a video. This loadout highlights the rotary AC-5 in the right arm, which can be quite nasty. It's made even deadlier with the inclusion of a targeting computer in the left torso. To add to the damage from the rotary cannon, the X config includes 3 ER medium lasers and an ER small pulse laser. The loadout is made more viable through the inclusion of 3 additional double heatsinks in the left arm and an Angel ECM suite. Of all the configurations, I have only used this one a single time in tabletop, and to mixed results. If you've had luck with it, let me know how it played out. The G configuration of the Cauldron Born goes all in on the Hyper Assault Gauss technology by cramming an HAG-40 into the left arm and left torso of the battle mech. It carries 18 shots and 6 tons of ammo, so just go wild with it. Your aim will be aided by a targeting computer, and there is an improved heavy large laser in the right arm, so you won't be entirely dependent upon a single weapon. This configuration is the one for you if you like to build your forces to min-max possible comedic outcomes. Killing a mech with a HAG-40 is always hilarious. Always. So the good news for the Ill Clan era is that even Inner Sphere armies can field the Cauldron Born. The bad news out of all of this is that even Inner Sphere armies can field the Cauldron Born. Update your mech insurance, life insurance, and wear your brown pants to your next battle. I love the Cauldron Born, Ebon Jaguar, whichever name you prefer. Ever since the first time I saw it in the 3858 technical readout, I knew it was going to be one of my personal favorites. Even if it meant being that odd Jade Falcon who preferred it to the Hellbringer. Its sleek design, low profile, along with plenty of fun standard configurations, makes for an interesting battle almost every time. Unless your son headshots it on turn 1 with his king crab. Unfortunately, the Ebon Jaguar has largely flown under the radar in BattleTech fiction. I've racked my brain trying to come up with examples of its use from novels, but I've always come up short. In Historical Turning Points Luzerne, which is a campaign found on Catalyst Web Store for under $5, a unique configuration of the Ebon Jaguar is used by Star Colonel Samantha Kotar, who is a commander of the Smoke Jaguar 6th Striker Cluster. Kotar was a Smoke Jaguar Ristar and was known for using aggressive tactics as befitting the Smoke Jaguars of the late 3050s. Being a clan Ristar, arrogance is baked into her personality. Kotar was known to have contempt for many of her peers and the leadership of Clan Smoke Jaguar, who she blamed for the losses on Tukiad and Luthien. She may have had a pretty good point there. I won't spoil the campaign, but the Samantha version of the Ebon Jaguar is pretty slick. As in other configurations, it's built around that Ultra AC-20 in the left arm, though in the right arm there is an ER PBC. The inclusion of 3 LRM-10s in the right torso makes for an interesting mixture of ranged fire support, with the always threatening possibility of being able to get in close for the kill with that Ultra AC-20 and even the ER small laser in the left torso. I'm pretty fond of the Samantha configuration and have used it several times in the past. If it has a downside, it's that there are only 2 tons of ammo for that autocannon and 2 more for the LRMs. Ammunition consumption is going to be a problem for the Samantha configuration in any sustained fight. Dropping down to only 1 ER PPC and an ER small laser is a considerable dip in damage output. I'm encouraged by the new production of the Cauldron Born Ebon Jaguar in the Ill Clan era, even if it's with Clan Seafox, which seems to be magically the owners of so much production these days. If Mechfrog were at the helm, I think I might have given it to the Raven Alliance or even the Ghost Bear Dominion. A shocking number of Ill-Clan-era clan mechs are being built by Seafox, and it's stressing my ability to suspend disbelief. Do you have a tabletop experience with Cauldron Born? I love to hear about it in the comments below. As I've said many times before, it's one of my favorites and has a good mixture of form, function, and flexibility. Big thank you for watching. If you hit all the buttons to let YouTube know that the video is worth watching, I'd appreciate it. Channel members and Ko-Fi supporters who are going out of their way to support the channel, thank you oh so much. Just a little reminder before we go, if you haven't already, give the new Explorer Core series on my channel a try if you're looking for some BattleTech audio while out tackling your day. I think it's worth your while as we start to see the horizon approaching for Season 2 of the story with our plucky band of misfits. Until we meet again, take care and go make the world a slightly better place today and tomorrow.